Welcome back to this Let's Play of the original official campaign for Neverwinter Nights 2. Last time we rescued Lord Nasher and have been made Knight Captain of Crossroad Keep, which means we should probably get back to managing this place and, you know, make sure it's ready for this upcoming war and all that good stuff. There are a couple new people in the courtyard here. Sir Naval shows up in the courtyard, and he'll sort of explain your mission again, and he also says that he wants to turn this tower into a guard tower. And there's another option for the tower, so you may not want to do that. I probably will, just because the other person I'm not really interested in. The other person who shows up is Bevel, and if you can be nice to him and just sort of talk to him, he'll gain influence with him, though it doesn't actually show that influence gain. Some of the conversation options you have with Bevel also give bonuses to the other Grey Cloaks. And we can just talk. Alright, that's more than enough to just randomly select a conversation options. And more or less you're just telling him, oh, you're alright. Apparently he was captured by the Grey Dwarves and tortured, and so that's how they know that you have the shards. Okay, well, you know, I guess we shouldn't be too mad at him because he was tortured because of us. At least that's the option I chose. This Erling Star guy keeps trying to talk to us and getting interrupted. But Sand wants us to go talk to Aldenon. And Aldenon talks your head off about actually getting into the King of Shadows fortress. More or less he tells you he needs the Tome of Ithkazar, which should be on either the King of Shadows himself, which doesn't actually help us, or on one of the Shadow Reavers, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that when we go around fighting Shadow Reavers. He also points out that the edge of the King of Shadows domain is quite dangerous, but the center of it should be safe, so as long as we can get through that outside part, we should be okay. Let's talk to Kana and get back to managing.
They're back.
It's me, Captain. You got the letter about the King of Shadows, right? Brother Maxwell and I have had some fine adventures since then. We're hoping you have another quest for us.
Don't forget Huan and Condril.
Of course, and them too. So, do you have any jobs for us?
Choose your words carefully, Captain. With this lot, a misplaced word could send them to the 9 hells.
And wouldn't that be a grand adventure if they went? Anyway, we can tell them about the King of Shadows and, well, start telling them and get cut off.
Ilfan Empire, you say? Guardian to boot? We have a new quest.
You really should let the captain finish.
Candril, Juan, prepare the horses. We ride immediately.
Don't you think we should ask?
We've tarried here enough, Brother Maxwell.
Yes, Darid. Sorry again about this.
Hopefully they'll stay out of too much trouble.
They actually do. They're kind of amusing, but they're actually one of the few pieces of comic relief in this game that actually works. Some of the comic relief, like Grobnar, just comes across as okay, just strange rather than funny. And we can order the men to continue to recruit, and we can talk about the sergeants, specifically Bevel, who's our new sergeant, and we're going to train him to patrol the countryside, since that's basically what he did in West Harbor, so he should be good at that. The next time you talk to her, apparently there's a war tax coming around, and it's all 6,000 gold, so I'm just going to pay it myself, rather than have the peasants pay it. If you have the peasants pay it, you'll get less peasants, which means less recruits, which means less, well, it's only 6,000 gold. So, that's all for her for now. We can also come here and talk to Guyven of the Road about the places we visited, and he babbles on about them, but wow, he really babbles on about them, but there's not a whole lot to say there. Before I really get into doing the keep stuff, though, I want to finish recruiting the staff that are available, including Light of Heavens here, who's another sergeant. But in order to recruit her, you have to defeat her in a one-on-one duel twice, specifically. So, she's not super hard, but she has quite a few hit points. So, I tossed an Avasculate at her, and so I hit her for 112, so I know she has 112 hit points left. So now when I cast Power... Well, I guess I'm going to have to do another Avasculate first. She's a Paladin Divine Champion, I think. Okay. So now that she's got 56 hit points left, she should be susceptible to Power Word Petrify. Didn't work at all. Power Word Petrify is another one of those new spells that I'm not 100% convinced it actually works at all. But we succeeded in beating her just by double Avasculating her. Alright. That's the first thing we wanted to do here in Port Last.
Get on him! Attack!
The second one is we're going to talk to Nodwab and Leva, the Sages of the Wendersnaven. And they talk a whole lot and don't make a whole lot of sense. So we just keep talking to them, and you have to have Grobnar in your party for this to work. And you talk, and you talk. And eventually you get to the question of they will only answer questions that are yes or no questions. And so we start asking directions. Are they east of here? And eventually you just give up and walk away, and they say, they just ask about the map. And you can ask them, will you give them the map? No, they say no. You can ask a bit of more complicated questions, but if there's not a yes or no answer, they will not go for it. So you ask, can you show me the map? And they say yes, and they do, and we get another place to go. We're not going to go there just yet. I just figured I'd get that out of the way while we're here in Port Last. Our next stop is Neverwinter, but I'm going to do some shopping off-screen. Neverwinter is only the merchant district now. There's a couple shops here, but mostly we're just here to recruit 2 people. Light of Heavens being one of them. And again, I'm going to see if I can make these spells work. After I throw 2 Avasculates, should be able to hit her with Power Word Stun. Alright, that's 92. So she should have 46 hit points, which means she should be affected fully by Power Word Stun. But it doesn't do anything. It must be based on total hit points, not current hit points, which means that it's really worthless. Because, well, the only things that don't have 200 hit points at this point in the game are going to be just total trash enemies, and stunning one of them for a limited amount of time just isn't worth a level spell. So, what a waste. Oh well, got it out of the way. And I cast Greater Shout there. Greater Shout is another spell that I have. Well, it's not totally useless. The deafening effect makes it effective against certain enemies, and sonic damage is hard to resist, but, let's just say it's not a spell I'm likely to use, other than that one use for the Know-It-All challenge. The other person we're here to recruit is up at the northern part of the city, at the entrance to what was the Black Lake District. You can't go there now. Joy. And you can ask her why she's dancing. And you can welcome her to dance at Crossroad Keep instead. Great. She attracts merchants for reasons that are probably best left unspecified. There's some shopping to do here, and hopefully these merchants can pay a little more for some of the items I have, but otherwise I may just buy a couple cheap items and then meet you back at Crossroad Keep. On our way back, we get an encounter. I think this happens the second time you move around the map after starting Chapter 3, and it's just Grey Cloaks versus Trolls, and you can help them out or not. And I'm going to help them out because, you know, I'm a nice guy, or something like that. And I just want to spam Firebrand.
Yes.
I gained everybody's levels off screen. There's not really all that much more that's all that important to see. For Quara, one interesting little quirk is that since she has some skill in use magic device automatically, more or less, because she has a charisma bonus, you can actually get her to equip things like Robes of the Shining Hand +5, which are good armor. It's intended for a monk, but she can use it just fine, and that gives her a little bit better AC. It's one of the things that makes her a little more useful than Sand, though you do have to spend some skill points. You have to spend at least one skill point in the skill for her to use it at all. But it gives her something to spend her skill points on, as opposed to Sand, who just sits around looking like an idiot. Oh, I suppose we have time to just finish off with Light of Heavens, who, the next time she appears outside the keep, and once again you have to defeat her in single combat. I changed my spell lineup, so I actually don't have any of the Evasculates available, since that wasn't working all that well. I will throw up a Mordenkainen's Sword, which Mordenkainen's Sword's not really a super important spell in the grand scheme of is it a great summon? Not really. The main thing that makes Mordenkainen's Sword interesting and useful is that it's a summon that's not a conjuration spell, which means that Sand can learn it. And it's especially important for the expansion Mask of the Betrayer, because that expansion also includes a transmutation specialist who can't learn conjuration spells. Other than that, it's almost exactly like Summon 7, other than it's a longer sword and it has different immunities and all that. And she has been successfully recruited and will be in the keep next time we talk to people inside. Easy enough. See you next time.